Here we go, guys.
Woo!
Sorry for the late start. Google and I don't know what it is, technical difficulties, but we back at you guys again. It's going to be a good show. We got Tim back. We got Dula. We got Josh. We got a good show for you guys. The first quarter, I should say the first down, 1-10. So the topic on first and 10 is Buffalo Bills Marcell Dareus. Again, we're going to talk about Buffalo Bills Tyrod Taylor, his $90 million contract, and lastly, we're going to end with the New York Giants Victor Cruz. What could this be the end for his career? We don't know. You're going to hear it first here on Fury. Now, hey, let's go. Tim, what's good? Which first going to go the Buffalo Bills Marcell Dareus. Let's go.
All right. What's going on, fellas? Real quick, Marcell Dareus, Pro Bowl defensive tackle for the Buffalo Bills. He is now suspended for the first 4 games of the season. From what I'm reading, is that he just did not take the test. I'm sorry, he deserves it. We all grown men. From Sean Merriman, aka Lights Out, former linebacker from the San Diego Chargers, he stated that normally the NFL would always call you and let you know when to take the test. If you're on vacation, they will get a site where you can go to that site and take that test. No excuse. This is going to hurt the Buffalo Bills on first 4 games, definitely.
Yeah, I was just going to say pretty much what you added, Tim. Especially when they just gave this man last September a $100 million extension. $100 million. I mean, Hugh Hefner just sold his Playboy mansion for that much money. If you want to put it into perspective, we're talking Scrooge McDuck bucks here. And this guy is out here, failing tests on his team, and he's out a quarter of the season now. That's huge, especially when they just lost Shaq Lawson and Reggie Ragland. Man, I don't know, and especially when you're the Bills and your chops are watering at the thought of Brady being out for the first 4 weeks, and now you have this. That's certainly not taking advantage of the situation at hand. So, piss poor on Dareus, and I think the Buffalo may have just cost themselves another possible or potential win or two because of that. That D-line isn't going to be as good as it should have been from the beginning of the draft.
I mean, let's be honest. It's not as if they're going to win many games anyway. I mean, the quarterback's Tyrod Taylor. But, I mean, here's the thing. When you're getting paid, what was that contract? 6 years, $100 million. What was it? $60 million guaranteed. I think
I believe so. Yeah.
That's more than Sue. That's more than J.J. Watt. And you can say what you want about Sue. You can say what you want about J.J. Watt, but those guys are going to be on the field. They're going to be there game day. They're ready to go. You don't got to worry about them. This isn't the first time he's had, issues, with drugs, and it's apparently a missed test. And we said this before in another chat. I think Tim said something about how, like, DeMarcus Lawrence, there was some murkiness around that. And I said, in this age of technology, he has an agent, he has coaches, he has a lot of people.
Right.
No one thought to say, hey, fool, you have a drug test coming up. You might want to go take it. I'm not fully vested on how, they're notified and what the window is. I think the window is like a 2-day window. But it seems something as simple as just going in and dropping. It's all you got to do. And if you're dirty, you're dirty. So be it. Then you can, but then it's like, if you're dirty, then it's like, all right, I messed up. That's on me. Martavius Bryant messed up. Josh Gordon messed up. All these guys that failed drug tests messed up. But when you tell me you didn't think just to go, you missed it altogether, now you're showing me some laziness. Like, how do you not know?
Right, yeah.
Especially if you've been popped. He was popped last year with marijuana.
Yep.
Well, they're going to get you. And you know that as a professional. And then it's like Buffalo, it's like, they could have, washed their hands with you. They could have put you in the doghouse. But they said, okay, listen, we'll look past it, and we'll make you the richest defensive tackle in the game. And then you do that. When is it going to turn on for the guy? I don't know. I hope it does soon.
Well, I tell you this, hey, Marcell Dareus, I have smart water. That's the water you should be taking before you take the test. Smart water.
All right,
Smart water.
Move
All
on
right.
to the next topic.
But speaking of quarterbacks, Della just came out and said Tyrod Taylor. Now I'm gonna tell you this: Tyrod Taylor got his $90 million. Only started his first full year as the Buffalo Bills last year. He had 3,035 yards, 20 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. Mind you, his best game of the year was against the Patriots, where he threw 4 touchdowns in that game at Buffalo. Or was it at New England? It was at New England, excuse me. So, here's my thing. Sammy Walker is your number 1 receiver, and he was not there at all. Kevin Hogan, Robert Woods, who are these guys? Who are these guys? Are these practice squad players? That's what it seems like it is. Sammy Walker wasn't there. So this guy here was doing this and not even with LaShawn McCoy at there. So when I look at these numbers, and you're working with what you got, you're capable of being better when you have the players who take the game seriously and want to come on. I like the Tyrod Taylor deal. If Sammy Walker can somehow listen, if you're calling yourself you should be an elite player like Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham Jr. and those type of guys, my man, they're playing football. What are you doing?
I like to kind of condescend Tyrod Taylor to an extent, just because of my trolling abilities and because of my general hate for the AFC East. But to be honest with you, I was looking more in depth at the Tyrod Taylor contract, and it's really actually pretty reasonable for the Bills. If Tyrod Taylor were to stick around for those option years, the future years after the first initial one, it's actually pretty contract friendly to kind of build around him with talent. Because it really looks like it's just a 1-year contract with an option for the next 5 years. So if he's reasonable with the playtime incentives, he'll get like an $10.5 million in 2016 via some roster bonuses and signing bonuses and all that crap. But if the Bills choose not to exercise their option bonus and cut him before the 3rd day of 2017, then that's all that Taylor's really going to receive from the Bills, and he'll become a free agent in 17. So it's actually a very friendly contract for the Bills, and I was surprised. Everyone looks at the initial deal when they see that headline of $93 million, and they're going, "Holy crap!" Bradford money for what I think is an undersized kind of like, I'd say like an 8/10 of a Michael Vick, pretty much what you're getting with a Tyrod Taylor. He's going to play good. He's going to have good numbers in the regular season, and he's going to have good fantasy stats. But that's not really what's going to get the Bills to the promised land, and I just don't trust someone with his caliber to really have that it factor in the playoffs and to really lead his offense to a secure position. I think he's just a glorified fantasy stat patter pretty much, and he's not really what you're looking for in a long-term successful QB.
All right, Dula, what you think?
Listen, I saw this and I laughed. I had a nice laugh about this. Let me tell you why I had a nice laugh about this. Tyrod Taylor is a great story. Let's not get it twisted. Late round pick out of Virginia Tech. Supposed to be this mini Mike. Well, he's actually a little bigger than Michael Vick. But same skill set, same electric ability. Not as fast, obviously, but that profile. Late pick, sat behind Joe Flacco for 4 years.
4 years.
And then, he got his chance in Buffalo and made, good upon it and got paid. I'm scratching my head. That sounds really familiar because a couple of years, Buffalo got lucky on a guy who sat for 4 years, came into Buffalo, had a good season, and got paid. His name is Ryan Fitzpatrick, by the way. And we saw how that worked. Listen, you're right. The contract itself isn't a horrible contract. There's a lot of flexibility. If Tyrod Taylor's a dud, similar to Ryan Fitzpatrick, they're able to get out of the contract relatively easy. With that said, I don't like his playmakers. I don't like his head coach. I just don't like the fact that there's not a ton of continuity around him. A lot of moving parts. I would see if they've committed to some identity, but what is the identity on offense in Buffalo? No one knows. Forced to Sammy Watkins, he's hurt. LaShawn McCoy, he's there, but Which Shady McCoy are we getting? The offensive line's a mess. There's too many moving parts. And like, you got to set the guy for success. If I'm gonna give a guy that much money, and it's my same problem with the Philadelphia Eagles. If I'm gonna give a guy that much money, I need to set him up for success. Will Buffalo do that? Maybe, maybe not. But I know if they don't, then we're gonna talk about in 2 years this being another Ryan Fitzpatrick tale.
All right. Well, I guess we're moving on to the last topic, Victor Cruz.
Victor Cruz, I tell you this. I know he will be missed by a lot of Giant fans. He was great, and he was a great story out of preseason. The preseason sensation they called him. They went to the championship. Back then, when the Giants had 13 injuries, it was him and Eli. Hakeem Nicks was hurt a lot. Marvin Manahan was in and out of games. So, unfortunately, he's going through these injuries the past 2 years. He's going to be missed as a fan favorite. He hasn't practiced, but the Giants got, looking at their roster, of course you got Odell Beckham Jr., top 5 receiver. Whether I'm about to throw up now. Hold on. Excuse me. But no matter where you want to put Odell Beckham Jr., whether it's number 1, number 2, or number 3, whether he fits in, he's in that category. The thing is this: you have guys like Shepard, who they drafted in the second round. The kid looks very promising. He's gonna be that number 2 guy. So therefore, you don't need Victor Cruz, and especially they just got this kid, Dwayne Harris, last year from Dallas. You don't need Victor Cruz. Another one, you have the kid Germany who looked okay in the preseason. So, in this McAdoo offense, do you need Victor Cruz? Not really. The guys are there to replace this man. So I'm seeing Victor Cruz being released very soon. What team is he going to go to? We don't know. Can he help a team out? If he stays healthy, I don't think he'll be the same Victor Cruz as a long time ago, but he could probably contribute in an area.
Yeah, I love Victor Cruz. Ever since he came from the undrafted prospect, that 3-touchdown preseason game when he was still wearing the number 3, nobody knew who he was. Rex Ryan said, "I don't know who the hell that is, but that's one hell of a player." And that's pretty much the fate of what happened when Victor Cruz became a Giant. That pretty much sealed the deal. I've loved him over the years, but this is getting pretty tiring. It's been a year and a half, getting close to 2 years. I think October will be 2 full years when he got hurt at Lincoln. It's last year alone in September, August area, he was, I'm at 85%, 90%, feeling good, and then all of a sudden this calf strain comes out of nowhere and sidelines him for the whole year. Now we're at this point, almost a year ahead, and we're having groin issues 3 weeks away from the regular season. I'm not sure. I mean, I love his optimism. I love that he's worked his ass off to try to get back on the field. I love his determination. I love his love and passion for the game. But we're this far away from 9/11, and you're still having these little groin issues and getting sidelined at practice. Good luck, bro, but it's time to bring up the new guys. I mean, I love Cruz. I mean, I love what he's done for our organization, but at the same time, these young guys like Shepard, Jeremy Davis, if they could perform like they should be able to, then, I mean, most of our tears will dry pretty fast.
You know what? Here's what I've noticed, and this is really specific towards like New York teams and just New York sports fans in general. And I wrote a paper about this in college, actually, that sometimes you guys hang on to guys a bit too long. And not only literally, but their stories. Victor Cruz was phased out when Odell Beckham Jr. made that catch. It was over for him. This is Odell's team now. And yet, the loyal Giants fan, they hung on to Victor Cruz and this idea of, man, what if we get Odell Beckham and Victor Cruz on the field together? That'd be amazing. And it would be. The problem is that injuries happen, and guys get hurt, and Victor Cruz has gotten hurt a lot. Great story, undrafted out of Massachusetts. Really worked his way from obscurity to playing in the Super Bowl. I recall living in New York and walking around, and I saw way more Cruz jerseys than Eli Manning jerseys. Way more Cruz than Strahan or Pierre Paul or some of these other guys, that were, great Giants players. So the popularity was there, but the window's closed. Do I think he'll make the roster? I think he will. Do I think he'll play a lot this season? No. I just see the guy getting hurt a bit much. But I don't think he's that bad of a receiver that they're going to come. I think we'll keep him on the roster.
I find that interesting because I think at this point it's kind of 50-50. I think McAdoo had his private convo with them. I think they didn't release what they said together because McAdoo personally said, he's going to leave that to Cruz if he wants to, kind of display what they had to talk about. But I'm sure McAdoo had some kind of words like, if you can't get going in these next, week or two, man, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to part ways. So
I want to add this real quick. I'll tell you this. Having Victor Cruz on the field limit Shepard and what's best for Odell, because he only could play one spot in the field, and that's that middle. He's not as versatile as Odell Beckham Jr. or Shepard, who could mismatch in the outside and inside. He's not a complete receiver in that mode. And I'm gonna tell you this: I won't be surprised if the Giants tell him, listen, because not for nothing, is he worth a trade? He's worth a trade, not something major, but something small. But I wouldn't be surprised if they tell Victor Cruz, if we release you, you can't go nowhere in the NFC East or in the NFC period.
Well,
you gotta go on the AFC side.
On that note, guys, we're going to come back on the second down. We'll be right back.